Hello, welcome to Pour Over Sports. Today, I had the pleasure of sitting down with Coach Jake Suvak of the USC Upstate men's basketball team. Coach Suvak is the team's strength conditioning coach, and in his first year, Coach Suvak has already implemented a brand new training program that is utilized by the entire men's basketball team at Upstate. Coach Suvak has implemented a system known as a quadrant system. The quadrant system has broken down the week, especially in season, based on 4 days. You have a Q1 day, Q2 day, Q3 day, and a Q4 day. Q1 days are days that are completely off, okay? NCAA rules, you have to have 1 day off. Q2 days are higher workloads with lower intensity. Q3 days, lower workload with higher intensity. And Q4 days, higher workload with higher intensity. Throughout the video that we sat down and made, you will hear Coach Suvak describe what goes into having a quadrant system and what his overall philosophy is on the program and how he maintains the players' health. Hope you enjoy the video.
The first thing that we focus on is workload management, making sure that we don't do too much every single day. We want to do enough that we are going to have cause an adaptation, but not so much that we stress the body to the point that we can't recover before our next bout of exercise. Knowing that game days are the most intense day that we are going to have throughout a week, we need to kind of build up like a ramp. We want to ramp up to our game day. So usually 2 days before a game, we're going to focus on higher volume. The day before the game, we are going to decrease the volume but increase the intensity so that we can prime the nervous system for what we're about to do. As you see right now, I'm doing hops through the video. With these hops, they are low intensity plyometrics, and that is really just focused on motor unit patterning and synchronization so that we can stay consistent with the movements without putting a huge stress on it.
All right, guys, starting off up in the 8. Take our time with these, full range of motion on these. Band face pull, 3 sets of 6. Push up, walk out, remember push up position, walking the hands out as far as you can, walk it back. 3 sets of 6 there. Mini band glute bridge, big bands around the knees, drive the hips up, push out against the band. 3 sets of 6. B block. We got jump mats. We're just doing 1 jump each, hands on your hip. Snap down, explode up. Keep your hands on your hips the whole time. Going into the band resisted sprint. 3 total reps there, 10 yards each. And then the med ball rotational throw, driving out of that back hip. So we're loading up the glute, loading up the hip, drive through, open up the hips as you throw the ball into the wall. Any questions on the B's? All right, down to the C's. The back squat overcoming ISO is a new one. So it's the same thing, you guys know the hex bar that we've been doing where we're low. Basically what we're trying to do now with the back squat is get to the end range of motion on our jumps or the higher range of motion. We'll finish up with arms and abs at the end for 5 minutes.
So while we're in season, we really focus on filling buckets. So while we're playing basketball, we get a lot of jumps. So it's not something we have to spend a lot of time on, which is general jumping. There are things that we'll focus on that are jumps, but in a different way, where we may do them resisted or assisted, but doing them just normally isn't something we need to spend too much time on because of the amount of jumps we do in a practice in a game. As we do things like a band resisted sprint, depending on the time of year, it can be used for a lot of different reasons. It may be used just so that we don't hit max speed. In our case, we'll use a band resisted sprint in season as a way to focus on power output as opposed to something that is speed based. In season, we typically want to focus on quality reps over quantity reps. We get a lot of volume just from practicing and playing basketball that when we get in the weight room, we don't want to pile on a ton of volume. So we put a huge emphasis on proper movement patterns and doing them with a purpose, doing them with intent so that we can force adaptation with the lowest amount of volume possible.
So as you guys can see on the screen now, this is a simple graph that describes the breakdown of the quadrant system that Coach Suvak touches on in the video. This is a workload management schedule for an in-season basketball team. Each Q in each quadrant is relative to the day of the week away from the game. So a Q1 is a Sunday, which follows a Saturday game day. So a Q1 is a complete off day. A Q2 is a workload day that is higher than the intensity. So you're going longer in practice, but you're maybe not going as hard. And that is 2 days prior to a game. A Q3 is a lower workload, so lower amount of time on the court, but higher intensity. This is geared to make sure the players are geared up for the game, which is, in this sense, on a Wednesday. A Q4 is a game day. That is both workload is high and intensity is high. A Q1, like we said, follows a game, so that would, in this regard, is a Thursday following a Wednesday game, which is an off day. Back to a Q3 on a Friday, the day before the game, where our workload is low, and our intensity is high. Then the last day of the week, which is a working day, is a Saturday, which is a Q4 day, which is high intensity, high workload. I hope that you guys were able to learn a lot from this segment on the Pour Over podcast, and hope to see you guys back soon. Thank you.